Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Co-Optimal Podcast. I think I'm surprising Juan here with this startup.
Oh, yeah. I was not expecting that.
As I usually do. I don't know why I did that. I just figured it was the right thing to do. So, it's been a while since we've had a podcast, would you say, Juan?
Oh, it seems like forever. I don't know the actual
It seems
time.
like it's been like it could have been a year.
We just kind of left people. We didn't give anybody any kind of explanation, and I feel bad for it.
I mean, I feel bad too because there were people that were generally like interested in the stuff that was going on, but there's various reasons for that, and one of the main ones is that we were lazy. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have been too hard for us to.
No, we could have said something, and I think that we had planned to, but then like we ended up not making the video because stuff was going on, and we were just a lot of stuff was going on. But basically, I guess we can explain some of it now. To kind
Cody's
of
in fucking Ireland.
All right.
So everyone knows.
So yeah, that we'll make that a thing. So if you guys haven't been able to tell, based on maybe like a little bit different quality, I don't know if it's worse or better or whatever. But me and Juan are hundreds of thousands of miles away from each other. Not hundreds of thousands, just thousands, I think. I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's far. I know it's like 4 o'clock here and 9 o'clock there.
Yeah, it's 5-hour time difference. So basically, what prevented us from being able to do the podcast was, so basically I went to, and I think that we kind of explained this before, but I went to a summer camp in Minnesota. And if you guys don't know, me and Juan are from Michigan. So I drove all the way to Minnesota, and I worked at a boys camp where I was a head counselor, which is basically a glorified counselor where instead of being with the kids 24/7, I had to make sure everyone else was doing their job. And long story short, it was a fucking amazing time. It was just crazy. And I don't know how to explain it other than you have to do it to figure it out. This is something so crazy that like Juan, I would beg you to go with me next year if I decide to go.
Oh, I wish I could.
I would beg you to see if there's like something that you could do to figure out a way to get there. Like that's how much I think that it can just open up your eyes, whether like you want to do something different with your life or whether you want to just like kind of see what life has to offer like a little bit better. But like it's crazy. There's times when I was frustrated, there's times when there's like stuff like a lot of stuff going on, but it was just a beautiful experience and I don't know how to explain it. But from that though, I met an amazing girl. Her name is Becca, and she's Irish, and we decided to just fucking throw all caution in the wind, and just so you guys know, I'm married now.
That's so crazy for me to hear. Not that like I never expected you to get married. It's weird.
It's sometimes it's not really weird to say, but it's weird, I guess, in a certain way. But, and I know a lot of people probably wouldn't understand, and I don't have to explain myself to anybody, but I think that a good thing to say with it, though, is you would understand it more if you lived and ate food with at every single moment in time, and my phone's going off. If you like lived, slept, ate, and did all of this shit 24/7 with people for 2 to 3 months, you would understand what it means to really connect to another person. I have so many friends from all over the world now, and obviously I have an Irish wife now, and it's just nuts. Like, and I could have never have expected this going into camp, and I wouldn't even say that I tried to expect this. And I came out with just so much to be like thankful for in my life. Married to a beautiful girl, and I'm in a completely different country right now. I'm in Ireland. Juan was correct. And it's a great experience, and it's gorgeous, and I I don't know. I love it. Her parents love me, which is I don't understand it. I don't understand why.
I don't know if I'm like putting too much out there, but I am happy to say that like you went into this experience on kind of a rut. You weren't in the best places, and I'm really happy with the way that you came out.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I was not in the best places. And that was one thing that I think we talked about on the last podcast that we did. But it's fine because there you learn so much, and that's why I say it's an eye-opening experience because there's just so much going on that you don't care about the shit that you go through in your life because you're dealing with like the lives of so many others, kids, other adults, just like everything else in the world, and it's just I don't know, it's a crazy experience, and there's no way for me to explain it, and I could talk about it all day and you would never be able to understand, and I have so many stories that I would like love to talk about at some point, but yeah, it's great. So that's kind of currently right now in terms of like a short term of what happened and where we've been. I've been at camp working, now I'm in Ireland and we're just waiting to get our stuff set up. Juan's been, well, how about you go ahead and explain what you've been doing, Juan?
I haven't been doing much of anything besides switching shifts and getting barely any sleep.
So what happened with that? Your worst fears came true, correct?
Oh yes, no. So I don't know how you want to say. I'm technically a father of two now. So my girlfriend's daughter moved back to Michigan from Florida with her father, and it's just it's put a lot more on me. Not in a bad way, not in any kind of negative way, but both of my kids are now in school, which is again weird to say.
No way.
Yeah, it's weird. So I switched to midnights so that I would be able to pick them up and drop them off from school, which I thought I would enjoy a hell of a lot more than I currently am.
Midnights suck.
Yeah. It's still awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. Being a dad is one of the greatest experiences you can imagine. It's awesome.
Are you trying to convince me to have a baby?
Yes. and name your Caucasian and Irish child
Cambria?
Juan.
I'll not. Okay, if I have a son, I'll name him Juan.
I said Caucasian and Irish because Cody, I'm not really sure what you are.
Irish is Caucasian, you idiot.
No, I know. I know. I had to generalize yours and then be specific on hers because I at least knew what she was. What are you?
I'm white, mostly. My brother likes to claim that I'm like 2% black somehow, but whatever. Oh, we looked up my last name is apparently has Irish descent, so that's interesting.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, so cool. So you've been working midnights and you've been being dad duties, and you know what? That's great. That's awesome. But now it's time to get back in the swing of things, and we got to make time for the content that we love to create for ourselves and for everyone else. And we're gonna start doing that, guys.
I was thinking about it, and like going to this shift honestly probably isn't the worst thing because my schedule beforehand was 7 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I don't see how we could have done this with that schedule.
No, because by the time you got home at what, 3 or 4, 5, maybe
4, everybody would be home. It'd be super hard for me to have a quiet work environment. It'd be super late for you. It would just be all around difficult. So
yeah, and so like this actually does kind of work out in a way for us, and hopefully we can keep it going. We definitely plan to. There's a lot of other stuff that we've been talking about, like that, like I've been telling him that I plan on doing, and then maybe this is a chance now where we can start playing games and stuff a little bit more if we have some free time. It's gonna in a way be better as long as I keep up with everything that I plan on doing, which I plan on to, and I've made actually a promise to myself and to my wife that this is what we want to do. Like there's stuff that we want to do, and we need to stick to our grounds, and we made promises to each other that we're going to do what we want to do. And then in terms of you, I guess it can make sense for you because as long as you still like, as long as you come home and you sleep and you make sure you're getting the sleep you need in the morning and you're doing the stuff that you need to do, then you'll be able to do whatever for the most part.
See, it's I don't know, it's pretty good right now. The way things are working at my house because Kayla works either early mornings or afternoons. So when I get home, it should just be me. So doing this kind of stuff should be relatively easy.
Which is cool. It just means, long story short, guys, it just means like we should be able to get more content out to you guys a little bit easier.
Oh, and going into this shift, I have higher seniority, so I don't have to worry about like during the week overtime. So getting home early should never be a problem.
Oh, perfect. Well, there you go. Yeah. So there's our lives, guys. Juan's working and being dad. I'm in Ireland and I'm married.
And I've been arm wrestling.
Arm wrestling.
Yeah.
That is something that we're definitely going to talk about in this podcast, and that I want to like hear more about because I'm interested in like, and you were telling me before
we'll go
I
a little
left
bit more
all the stuff that you're or when I actually before I left to Florida, you were telling me about this stuff, and and I was actually really interested in it. So basically, what we got set up for you guys today is we're going to talk about don't worry, we're gonna talk about the game stuff for sure. We're gonna talk about some Call of Duty Black Ops 4 or whatever it is, Blackout, I guess is the battle royale. We got Fallout 76 information and news and stuff that we want to talk about with that. We're talking about Hearthstone's new expansion and cards related to that and kind of that sort of meta. I've actually been playing that a little bit since I've been back from camp. Funny enough. Not a super lot, but a decent amount. Then we are going to talk about Juan's arm wrestling stuff. I'm going to talk about, well, I guess I already talked about camp, so I guess I'll talk about just some stuff that I have set up and things like that. And then we're going to talk about anything that we think of that interests us in between there, and we'll go from there, all right? So, Call of Duty Blackout, Black Ops 4, whatever the hell you want to call this shit. You're gonna know way more about this than me because I know that you're more involved in that, but I have like looked at a couple videos and I've read some stuff, but let's talk about it.
So honestly, I am not that more or well informed. I downloaded the beta.
Okay.
I played all of 2 minutes of it because I have some graphic issues I have to work out. It looked like Minecraft when I started up the game. So but no, I watched some videos and honestly, it does not look bad.
It actually looks fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's like surprisingly because I know we talked kind of bad about it in our last few podcasts, like how the market has been flooded with battle royales and whatnot, but this is actually looking to be pretty good.
Well, I think what the positive aspects of it are, if you look at it, it has that faster pace of a Call of Duty game, but slow enough pace because of the battle royale that like you don't. This is my problem with battle royale games. For most of them, you loot around for minutes and do nothing, and then you die instantly.
It's the worst experience. Like if you're not a good player, that's usually what happens. Like when I was playing Fortnite and PUBG, I would spend on average like 15 minutes searching for weapons and loot, and then the first person that I would run into, I would die, and it just made for a bad experience.
Or you would drop in somewhere that's super busy, and then die instantaneously because you couldn't find
the first person with like a pistol.
Because you found a pistol and they found a legendary shotgun that does 4 billion damage. So,
but the best thing that I've seen from the Blackout beta is that it looks amazingly smooth.
Yes, it does look smooth. It looks pretty damn smooth. I gotta be honest with you here.
Like PUBG, from my experience, was a better experience than Fortnite just because of the amount of weapons and
realism.
Yeah. But it was nowhere near as smooth as Fortnite. It was clunky. It had like a DayZ or like that kind of feel to the movement mechanics, and it was rough. Like the actual playing.
Well, and
the gameplay was rough.
And the thing is that even with Fortnite, hit detection is kind of weird, kind of clunky in itself. But I think from the videos that I've seen and heard of what I've heard people talk about, Black Ops, because it's it's so polished and it's like a AAA titled game with a bunch of crazy good developers working on it. It seems like that polish that's been necessary, that's been kind of like lacking in the battle royale genre, is kind of there. And I don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to 100% like backtrack from what I said before. I still think there are way too many battle royale games. I think that
definitely.
I think that this game coming out is going to be fine as long as it's good enough to make it so it's one of the major ones. You know what I mean? My issue was talking about it's just another battle royale game that's going to be mediocre, and it's just going to be like another thing that splits up people and people are going to talk about whatever. But if this is good enough where it could possibly, because from a lot of what I've heard, it's like a more refined PUBG. And if that's going to be the case, it's going to knock PUBG out of the water.
They have like zombie bosses and stuff in the battle royale.
Yeah, I saw there's like zombies. I don't understand that. What is it? So there's zombies that also
again,
are
like
part of it?
I have had little to no playtime with the actual game. It's sitting on my desktop. I eventually will get to it. But yeah, some videos I've seen, there's like AI in the game, which is pretty cool. Like
that makes an interesting concept to it. Kind of adds a different flavor to it. So it sounds like it's got like
PvP and PvE aspects,
which is gonna be dope. Everybody loves PvE and PvP combat, like combat sort of things to it, because it allows people to get kind of a little bit mix of things together, and I like that. It looks like the open beta was started September 15th for PC and Eastern Standard Time of 1 p.m. And then
I do not like that you have to have the pre-purchase in order to play on PS4 though.
Did you need it for PC?
No, it was completely free on PC for the Battle.net launcher, but on PS4 you need to have the pre-order. Sorry, I said pre-purchase. Pre-order for the
same thing
for the beta.
That's asinine.
Mm-hmm.
That's a duty. Well, I mean, let's keep our eyes on it. How about that? We'll keep our eyes on it. All right. When is it supposed to come out?
I have no idea.
Does it even have a release date? Is that something that we can look up here? Let's see.
I'm sure.
God, BO4 release date. October 12th.
Oh, that's not very far.
October 12th. Well, I guess we'll keep our eye on it. We'll see. I'll see some things about it. It might be something worth picking up, maybe streaming, maybe checking out a little bit. But if it is, then maybe we'll pick it up and we'll check it out. If that's the case, might be something that maybe me and Juan will play together. He's saying he's having some issues right now with his PC. Maybe we'll get him to set up my PC and start playing on that and see what happens, since I am away from my PC and I wasn't able to take it and I had to get a whole new one.
You got a whole new PC?
I got a laptop that's decent enough to run stuff, so I should be able to run a lot of stuff decently. Albeit a little bit heating issues that I've fixed by making sure it's all set up and undervolting and all this crazy shit, but should be able to play it. I'm looking at the recommended specs, saying an i7, 12 gigs of RAM. Jeez, for what? And then GeForce GTX 970 or GTX 1060. So if we get you set up on my computer, then we can get you actually running some games or something like that. We'll check it out. We'll see what we can do. But if that's something you guys are interested in, give us some feedback. Let us know, and maybe we'll try to stream us playing it when it comes out, if we got the time and the money.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely be all for that.
It looks interesting. The only issue that I have with that is our next topic that might be consuming my time. Fallout 76.
Oh, okay. All right, so explain to me the game aspect, because I heard it's not going to be a purely like linear single-person story game.
Okay, so this is how it's going to go. All right, I'm going to explain it. It's basically an online multiplayer survival game. So basically you take Fallout 4, okay? Take away all the human NPCs from it. All right? You don't get your quests from human NPCs. The thought process is this is 20 years after the nuclear fallout of all the stuff that happened, all the explosions and everything like that.
Pre-Fallout, right? Pre-Fallout 4, like that game?
Yes. This is the earliest game that's existed so far in terms of the timeline. It's 20 years after the devastation that happened on the world, all right? The thought process is you are part of Vault 76, which is the first vault to open up, one of the first vaults to open up and release people to try and set up the wasteland. And so the thought process is the only humans that are available are the ones that come from the vault, and that's going to be real players. So they eliminated all other actual humans from the game except for human players.
What?
Yep. So there'll be robots or there are quests, and they'll be from robots or PCs or maybe some type of mutants that are friendly, or just there's world quests, kind of think of Destiny, how events will happen and you can join in on them, something similar to that.
Is it going to be somewhere along a MMO?
Yes, kind of. It's so there's basically the servers that will have there won't be hundreds of players per server. It'll be 24 to 32, somewhere around there.
Not super big,
but the map is apparently 4 times the size of Fallout 4.
Okay.
So it's going to be a big, expansive map with somewhere between 20 to 30 people, maybe 40, I would say, is at the max that they decide on. And you can quest with people, you can go kill stuff with people, you can build settlements, you can get stuff to launch nukes places, you can PvP, you can do all of that stuff. But it's not an MMO and it's not a battle royale, but it's an online survival game with servers, kind of. So you can explore the wasteland and do all this stuff and do it with other people, or you can do it alone and still have a decent time. According to what a lot of people are saying, you can still have a decent time, and just you won't be running into players every time you turn around, but you'll see people enough where you can actually meet up with people.
Relevant. Yeah.
The way PvP is going to work is there's not going to be they have implemented stuff to prevent griefing, which I'm sure you know what griefing is. If you don't, it's basically, for those who don't know what griefing is, it's basically when in PvP sort of games, online games, where somebody will just constantly shit on your life and kill you repeatedly and just prevent you from enjoying the game, because even if they're better than you or no matter what, they'll just try to slap the shit out of you and win. In this game, though, they actually have implemented something. It's kind of a cool system that I think it is, where you can still shoot people. You can't. I don't know if you can specifically turn PvP off, but you can. Once you hit level 5, you're enabled for PvP, and you can get shot at. But until you shoot back and it kind of accept that you're willing to have a fight, the damage that's done to you is a huge reduction to what it would normally be, because they take it and scale it down unless you accept the PvP. Now, you can still die from people shooting at you, but it requires a lot more of their time to be able to do it. And if you end up not shooting back because you didn't want to accept it, yeah, you'll die. But that person that killed you, there's a wanted system. And they'll become wanted, and everybody in that game will be able to see them on their map and kill them and get a bunch of credits for it. Or caps.
What?
Yes. So it's a way of okay, if you want to kill people and they didn't accept it, but you kept trying to kill them, even though you knew they didn't want to take it because they didn't try to shoot you back, then you're a wanted criminal now, and now people can kill you and get a reward for it. So that's how they're combating.
If you fight back, though, right? You return.
So
fire.
Let's say you want to fight back. What happens is the minute that you fight back and you shoot back, it'll almost initiate kind of a duel, I guess you could say. It won't be. It's not a duel because it's not stuck between two people, but it initiates the combat between those two entities, and then you guys will
neither one of you will be wanted.
Right. Neither one of you
Okay.
would be wanted if the other person dies because you both accepted the sort of challenge, and now you guys are fighting each other, and your damage scales to what it should be. I don't know if they're gonna like balance that out for like certain like weapons and stuff like that. I think based on what I've read, it's not like, oh, one person's gun if it's super great, it completely goes down to meet yours, but it kind of scales down a little bit, so that way it's not too crazy, and yours scales up a little bit, so it's not too bad, so it kind of evens out, so that way like if you have better gear, you are still the advantage, but it allows the person that has not so good gear still like have a chance. So the way that actually they explained it was Pete Hines, right? The creator, the owner or whatever it is of Bethesda, he was saying basically he could take a knife, and he said he did this in game. He had a melee weapon, and a melee weapon versus like an actual gun. Like the gun, you think automatically, oh, he's gonna win. You're screwed if you're melee. But no, because they scale up the knife a little bit, and they scale down the gun a little bit, and like you have a chance. You're still like obviously
At a disadvantage.
Because you have a knife and he has a gun. But they kind of make it so it's still viable if you're good enough. So PvP seems well thought out.
Yeah, it seems balanced.
You can build bases just like in the Fallout 4 creation system.
That's cool.
And your bases can get destroyed by enemies, but when you log out, your base disappears.
Every time?
Yeah, so you can't just like you can't just like if you leave, your base can't just get destroyed while you're gone and everything's gone.
Oh no, see, that's what I was confused on. I thought you meant like you built a base and then once you logged off, the base was just gone.
No. Once you log off, the base gets like all the stuff gets like I guess it's called blueprints or something, and you can go and because it's something called like it's called like the camp in the game, like CAMP, and it's like something about like a portable like settlement system, and you can like move it around and build stuff. Someone was saying like it's like the creation thing is like pretty cool. They said that they had one test where 12 people built their camps next to each other, and it just like they were able to create a city out of it.
That's awesome. See, I was like kind of discouraged. I was like, I don't want to spend 2 hours building a base, and then every time I log on, it's just gone.
No. It just like kind of like becomes like taken off, so that way people can't destroy it, so you don't feel like your progress is completely thwarted.
Yeah.
The world is zoned by certain level stuff, so you don't like if you go to certain areas, you'll have to fight harder things, but like you can decide if you want to try and do it or not. It can be played in single player, but has PvP and punishments for griefing. There's quests, but no NPCs or dialogue options, so you don't have dialogue options. They're like it's all just like you accept the quest or you don't. It's kind of like it's like you're accepting the quest or you don't. I think it's more it's kind of similar to an MMO sort of style of like questing, I think, but not. And then I think there's a food and water system, so you have to eat and you have to drink. So it's like survival like that. There's perks and progression system that you can level up stuff, so it's still like an RPG. Bunch of different enemies. I guess since it takes place in West Virginia, there's enemies like the Wendigo.
Oh, that's so cool.
The Mothman.
What?
Yeah, dude. It's like really crazy. You can launch nukes and irradiate entire areas of the map. So like if you get launch codes, which it requires a lot to get, but if you get launch codes, you can nuke an area and it becomes irradiated, and you have to wear protection to go into the irradiated place, but if you go there, there's chances to get rare loot there.
So hold on. If you nuke an area though and there's players in the area,
they die.
Players die?
They die. If anybody goes into the nuked area, they die. Yes, it's like an actual nuke. Like there's so much more that they can explain to us, but like that's like it so far. And if you pre-purchase the game, which sucks you have to pre-purchase like you said, but if you pre-purchase it, because it comes out November 14th. If you pre-purchase it, the beta is supposed to be coming out in October. I might be spending all my time playing this because they're even saying that the beta, they're foreseeing that if you play the beta, your progress will carry over into the launch. So it's almost like
it's worth it. Yeah.
It's like you get to play a month early.
Yep.
So I'm super excited for that. What are your takes on some of this stuff? Give me some, like, what do you feel about some of this stuff? Let's hear your opinion because I've been talking a lot.
Yeah. No, you definitely have more knowledge on it than I do. I seen the very like initial trailer and that was pretty much it. But no, dude, that sounds awesome. I will definitely be anticipating the launch. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch some more videos on it, but.
We'll show more, and then maybe we'll on the next podcast we'll have you talk about your kind of thought process on it and see what it is. I mean, by the time the next podcast comes out, there might be more information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By next week.
Yeah.
So we'll check it out. And we'll see. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. I'm looking forward to it. I love Fallout stuff in the Fallout universe, and Fallout 76 is just gonna be a great way to get kind of a multiplayer sort of kick, and also just Fallout universe. So, let us know what you think about it. That's one thing that I kind of wanted to talk about on this is there's a lot of people poo-pooing on the idea because all they have is negative things to say. So put it this way. One thing in Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls series and Fallout series that people have been wanting for years is multiplayer. People are getting a chance to have something similar to like a multiplayer experience of a Fallout game. But they're crying because it's going to be always online, because it's going to be PvP, because it's going to be this. And you have people that are automatically shitting on this without knowing anything about it. And it kind of brings me to the topic of, what do you think about the people? And this is actually something that I'm going to be putting on the blog that I'll talk about later. One of the things I talk about is that gamers are the reason why there's no innovation nowadays, is because we cry how we want changes and stuff, and then we never allow changes to happen because we're whining about every time something changes. So what do you think about that? What do you think about the fact that there's people out there that are actually really upset that they're doing this because they're not doing the multiplayer in the exact way that they think it should be done?
See, I think the problem, like initially, is with the Elder Scrolls Online, like how big of a flop that was, and how it doesn't really have a very big following. Did you ever play the Elder Scrolls Online?
Yeah, I actually like it. I own it on the PS4 and on the PC. It was pretty good. I just think it's more fun to play either completely by yourself and get involved into it, or with another person and play it as if it's a multiplayer Elder Scrolls game. But I never had anyone to play with.
I didn't play it because of how many negative things I heard about the game. So I actually have no experience with the Elder Scrolls Online. All I know is that it has really negative reviews.
It did. And then it was taken out, revamped, re-released, and had nothing but positive reviews afterwards.
Oh, like No Man's Sky?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They completely did a big, huge update to it and had a bunch of people. And now I would say the top MMOs for most people are World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, probably the Elder Scrolls Online, and then Star Wars: The Old Republic. Those are the major MMOs nowadays, like the main ones. I'd say there's obviously tons, and please, not everybody roast me about how there's millions of these MMOs that are so much better. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the biggest ones I think so far, which have the most players, is still active and stuff in it, are those ones. But yeah, no, the Elder Scrolls Online is actually really fun. You can play the PS4 and PC cross-platform, so it's cool. Oh, sorry, Final Fantasy 14 is probably or 15, 16, 15, 14. 14 is probably one of the biggest ones. It's probably one of the biggest MMOs out there too. I'd say WoW, maybe that, between that and Guild Wars 2, and then whatever is after that is probably the Elder Scrolls Online. But yeah, it's actually a really fun game. But anyways, continue on. You were saying that you think because of that, it kind of...
Yeah, I just think that might bring it into a negative light. And I've noticed that gamers in general don't like games that are only online. I don't get that. I mean, I guess I understand when people have internet issues or people who can't afford internet, or in areas that don't have internet and still want a game, but I don't think that's the majority of players.
No, not nowadays. Nowadays, you can literally spend maybe $20 max and at least get internet enough where you can play a game. Okay. online. And I think the thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the biggest thing is people just they hate it when it's not exactly what they want, even though they know what they want won't work right. Like, if you were to just take a Fallout game and make it multiplayer, I just don't think it'd be worth it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there wouldn't be anything. It'd be like, why play it? Multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like, what is it worth investing time into just to have it so it works just as good with a second player? Like, those games, like Fallout and like Elder Scrolls, they're made for the single player experience. And for you to experience certain things that, like, if you were playing with another person, like, next to you, it would lessen it. Well, how would you do their story? Would you just have them jump in and they be a part of it? Okay, I guess that's all right. They're just like, what, your companion? Then who cares? Then it's like, for the second player, it's like a mediocre, like, dulled down experience. You can do it, and it would be okay. But this is an opportunity to be like a spin-off, you know what I mean? Because it's not like I don't think it's like it's not necessarily, it's not supposed to be like Fallout 5. It's just almost like a spin-off game, and it has an opportunity to be where you get everything in the Fallout universe, but you get to have it with people or by yourself. And it's in a way that's interesting because, like, there's a reason why there's no humans, but people are still complaining about that, saying, oh, it's going to be done with no NPCs. And it's like, well, there's story behind it. And I think what it is just people want it exactly what they think it should be in their head, despite whether or not that'll work or not.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's going to be people who whine and complain about, every game that's released. I do think Fallout 76 is going to be a good game, and I don't think it's going to do bad. Yeah. I think it'll be successful.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll check it out. But yeah, definitely going to keep an eye on it, and I'm probably going to buy it the minute I know when or pre-purchase it the minute I know when the beta is, if it's close enough and I have the money. So, sounds good. All right. So on to the next topic. Juan, this one is your area.
Okay.
Hearthstone.
Oh, Hearthstone. Why'd you say it like that?
Because you weren't saying anything. I was like, you're just gonna be quiet.
Well, I was waiting for you to announce the subject. So you want to talk about the Boomsday Project?
Yeah, you were interested in talking about meta of stuff and stuff like that. So let's talk about it.
Okay, so how much of it have you played? How familiar with the cards are you?
I would say that I am pretty familiar with a good fair amount of the cards. A pretty decent amount of them I'm familiar with, and those that I'm not, I have a page open that shows me all the cards so I can look at them as you talk about them.
I'm opening Hearthstone so I don't get like text wrong. I just want to be sure with the cards that I want to talk about. So I think I really liked this expansion when it first released because I pre-ordered it. I anticipated it. I was excited. Needless to say, I was excited.
Why?
I don't know. I liked Dr. Boom, and I liked mechs when I first started playing the game. Dr. Boom was my favorite legendary.
Like the magnetic sort of mechanic you're talking about?
Well, no, okay. No, see, because that's a completely new mechanic.
Right.
Which was weird because they introduced a new mechanic and only released, a handful of cards that actually have the mechanic.
To me, that's smart, though, because what it did is it made it so those cards became cards you'd want because of that magnetic ability, and then you'd be able to attach it to the mechs that already existed.
Yeah. Okay, so the first deck that I had ever built playing Hearthstone, and I remember it clearly because I was proud of it. It actually took me through the competitive meta pretty easily. It was a mech druid deck, which sounds weird, but it just worked. And so from that point, I really liked mechs. With that said, I do not think that the Boomsday Project pushed the game into the meta that it wants. Right now, as the meta stands, you see a high amount of OTK decks or
One
like
turn kill.
yeah, which I don't believe is a good aspect with the game.
No, I think
So,
that's stupid. But
yeah, so now we have Exodia Mage was already a thing, but now it's really easy because you
Exodia
have
Mage.
yeah. So basically, the concept is you play Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is a 2-mana 3/2 that makes your spells cost 1 less,
Mm-hmm.
and you play things like Molten Reflection, which you choose a friendly minion and you summon a copy of it, right?
Okay. Yep.
And then you play Simulacrum or Simulacrum, however you pronounce it, which is a 3.
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
Yeah, it's a 3-mana spell, and it copies the lowest cost minion in your hand. So while you have Sorcerer's Apprentice in your hand, you copy one of them twice. Okay, so you put 2 extra copies in your hand with a total of 3, right?
Okay.
And then you play Leyline Manipulator, which is a 4-mana 4/5, and it reduces the cost of any card that wasn't in your hand at the start of the game by 2. So you make 2 of your Sorcerer's Apprentice cost 0, right?
Okay.
And then you play Archmage Antonidas, which is a 7-mana 5/7. Whenever you cast a spell, add a fireball to your hand. So now you cast him, you cast 1 Sorcerer's Apprentice, and then you cast 2 for 0, and you play 1 Molten Reflection for 1 mana, right?
Okay.
You have 4 Sorcerer's Apprentice out. It counts as 1 spell as you have Archmage out, and then you get 0 mana fireballs that you just shoot until they're dead. Because they just every time you cast a fireball,
you get a fireball.
So you just win in 1 turn. It's literally 1 turn. And then okay, so the legendary that I thought was awesome. And there's been like three different decks for it already, and they've all been pretty damn successful. It's Mechathune.
Right.
You've seen Mechathune, right?
Yeah, it's like I've never seen anybody play him yet, but what is it? If you have no cards in your deck,
hand or on the field,
then you destroy the enemy hero.
Yeah, and there was already Uther for Paladin, which was an OTK deck, which is you have to summon 4 horsemen, which are your hero power, and then it just destroys the enemy hero.
Yeah.
I do not think decks like these are good for the meta. I feel like it just, I don't know. Blackout decks like that aren't for Hearthstone.
Don't you just play a very defensive and sort of don't you play in a way or a deck that's very control heavy though, and just to get that, and you have to hope things set up completely right, or is it something that you can win super easily real quick?
Oh no, dude! Okay, so there's 2 versions of Exodia Mage specifically, and I don't. The only reason I'm mentioning Exodia Mage for the current meta is because they released cards like Research Project, which is 2 mana, both players draw 2 cards, which in that deck is infinitely better than I think it's Arcane Intellect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Arcane, which is 3 mana, draw 2 cards. Yeah, it's just for you, but it doesn't matter when you're playing control. When you have cards like Ice Block that prevent lethal damage, or Voodoo Doll, which is a 3 mana 1/1 destroy enemy minion. Death Rattle, right. Destroy enemy minion. It just doesn't matter. And you're playing Blizzard, Dragon's Fury, all kinds of board clears. You're already playing super control heavy, so it doesn't matter that they draw cards.
And your goal is to just your goal is to just basically just keep the board clean and you not die until you can do what you need
until
to
you can play your combo, which is really easy. Exactly when I said you have Ice Block. Well, there's 2 versions, like I said. This one, which doesn't play the quest, and then you have the one that does play the quest. And the quest allows you to take an extra turn.
So, yep, I know that one. Yep.
Yeah. So it's really consistent. Well, I don't know if you'd say really, really consistent, but fairly consistent. So it's not hard. Every time I play against the quest, I usually know I'm going to
lose. Do you always lose?
When I play against the quest, yeah. It's hard to combat against a deck that kills you in one turn and allows you to have no, interaction on that player's turn, it's almost impossible not to lose.
Well, I mean, I think that's my biggest problem with Hearthstone in general is that you don't have interactions on people's turn for the most part. So there's not much you can do on their turn.
No. And then, okay, so I haven't seen this deck, but I built this deck, and I think it's really good, actually. But Druid has the Druid quest that makes, every minion in your deck cost 0, and I actually built an OTK deck with it just to see if I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And cards like Biology Project that I don't know why Hearthstone thought was a good idea to release. And I know initially it doesn't sound broken, but it is. Biology Project is 1 mana. Each player gains 2 mana crystals.
Okay, yeah.
So original Innervate was 0 mana. You gain 2 mana crystals. But it was just for that.
But okay. Oh, just for that turn. For that turn, yeah.
Yeah, it used to, because it got nerfed. Now it's 1. It used to be 0 mana, gain 2 for that turn. So they released a card that is 1 mana, gain 2 mana crystals. For Druid, that is phenomenal because they're not empty mana crystals, they're mana crystals. So it's 2 mana for the rest of the game. Your opponent gets it, but it doesn't matter because your decks are specifically set up to
flourish off of more mana.
Yeah, to rank up, especially when you're playing cards like Nourish already, or what's it called? Wild Growth. You just climb mana really fast, and then
mana ramp.
But again with the OTK decks, they released a card, and I do not have it. It is Juicy Psych Melon. Which
Juicy Psych Melon, yeah. Draw 7, 8, and 9, and draw 7, 8, 9, and 10 cost minion from your deck.
Have you seen the Togwaggle deck?
No.
Basically, you need a 7, 8, and 9 mana. I think it's 7, 8, and 9 mana card.
7, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay, so you draw Aviana, which is 9 mana, and she reduces, or she makes all the minions in your hand cost 1. And then you draw Coon, which is 10 mana, and he gains 10. You choose one, gain 10 mana or 10 mana crystals or 10 armor. Sorry.
Yep.
And then you play. There's a 7 mana card that gives you your opponent's hand in Togwaggle, which is 8. So it literally draws your whole combo. And what it does is it makes you swap up your deck with your opponent's deck, and then you take their hand and you gain the ransom, and they can't get their deck back.
But why would you want their deck?
Because you draw out your deck so that you have no cards left, and you put them to fatigue, and then you give them no cards, and you take all theirs.
Oh,
so
wow.
these OTK decks seem like they're flooding the meta, and I think it's putting Hearthstone in a really toxic and bad place. Because for new players, that's not fun.
And it's starting to it's getting to the point now where there's so many people playing that having new people, you're always gonna get new people, but having new people come in and have to deal with even because people will have the cards, even kind of have the cards that are kind of similar to these decks, it starts to make it so it's nearly impossible. It's I don't know. It's one of those things too where, I mean, I hate to say it, but when you play, let's look at it as Magic the Gathering. If people are making these decks, if you're going to a place and playing these games with a game with people that own these decks, people that have these cards that are crazy good, they usually spend a shit ton of money to get it. You know what I mean? For one card.
It's could you imagine going to a Magic the Gathering tournament and they're the standard is you can only play Legacy.
Yeah.
The cards you have to buy are literally just from Legacy.
Don't you only play Wild though? So isn't that why there's so many one turn kills though?
No, but see that there's OTK in Standard. There's a lot of OTK in Standard actually. I play Wild because I have the majority of cards. I've been playing Hearthstone since the first expansion. I've played a lot of it, so it's fun for me. It's fun for me to play Wild.
Right.
I think for the average player, it's probably not so fun for them to play Wild.
Right, they mostly play standard. And like and looking at it, if there's that many one-turn kills in standard, then what it's doing is it's exactly what you said, especially because there's people that all they have to do is either play a lot, or I guess you technically can spend a lot of money and have more chance of getting cards, but for the most part it's just playing a lot. And then being lucky enough to get these cards. And the thing is with these new players, they can't even like hope that they'll be able to get these cards because it is random. So it's literally about people that are versing that have played for a long time or that haven't. And the people that haven't, they just won't have cards like that. And it won't be enjoyable to them because they don't have it. And they never will. And so they have to deal with getting killed in one turn and they have no chance.
You either like get shit on forever and just lose like the vast majority of your initial experience, or you dump a bunch of money into it.
Yeah. And I guess it's kind of a shitty way to play because they're definitely like they're gaming towards that. Is they're fine with that. Like, okay, play this and it be shitty for you, and then if it's shit enough but you still want to play because you enjoy the game, then just spend money and you'll be fine. I don't know. It's hard to say with like card games and stuff like that because that's just how they are. But like another thing is, I guess if you're there's I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
See, I think with the current expansion, they did do one good thing, and I know me and you had talked about it, but I don't think we talked about it on the podcast. I think it was a really good idea for them to release Whizbang.
Oh yeah, to make it so basically Whizbang is explained for everybody.
Okay, so Whizbang is I don't know why he's statted as a card, but he is a 4-mana 4/5, and his text literally say like replace your hero and I'll find it just so I can get the exact text. It is you start the game with one of Whizbang's wonderful decks. So it gives you a random hero and a random pre-constructed deck with all of cards, even if you don't own them.
And it's cards that they're decks that can be pretty competitive. I wouldn't say they're crazy like you're gonna win tournaments and you're gonna be like one-turn kills. But
yeah, by no means are you gonna be like in the top ranking legend of North America, but you can definitely climb the ladder with them
and have fun. I actually that's what I was having like a good amount of time like having fun was when I was doing that and I was seeing myself because like if you have knowledge of card games themselves and of this game, then you can do good with that deck because you're benefited even more because you know how to run it well. And then if you aren't familiar with like card games or like Hearthstone that well, then you still benefit because then at least you're playing with cards that work better with each other and you don't have to know the know-how of how they work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it teaches newer players like the game mechanics. So I think it was really good that they put him in there to kind of like combat, like veteran players versus new players.
It's smart. It's like I feel like they should set up every almost in a way. I feel like they should make it so every class can start off with like a basic deck that works at least mediocre, like kind of like if you were to buy a pre-constructed deck of Magic the Gathering, and like those decks are not good by any means.
See, I feel
but they get you started.
I feel like it would be a smart move for Blizzard if like when a new player started Hearthstone, they gave them a random like pre-constructed deck, right? With like all the legendaries and not all the legendaries, but all the legendaries for that deck,
Yeah, like for that deck type, at least give them something decent.
Yeah, or allow them to choose what class they would like want to play most, and then give them
a deck based on that. Yeah, that would be interesting. Like I said, it'd be a lot like having like those pre-built themed decks that you can get like Magic the Gathering, and it'd be similar to that, and it works. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Yeah. I feel like that'd be advantageous for them and for their players, but
I don't know what they plan on doing. But I definitely do think they need to do something because the way it's heading now, it's not gonna land in a good place.
It's turning too competitive, and it's unfortunately the problem with like Blizzard. And the only thing that's funny that I don't see this in is Heroes of the Storm. that game like is meant to be more competitive, but it does a pretty good job of being kind of like League of Legends or like anything like any other type of MOBA where like it's got a decent level to it. But like if you're doing PvP in WoW, it's crazy competitive. Like you cannot like start off on that without fully investing into it anymore. Like it used to be something where you could do for fun and learn to get better. It's not like that anymore. And then StarCraft, I haven't even played StarCraft 2. I played like 10 minutes of it. But I would never play online on there because I already know that it would be way too competitive. Because that's all I've ever heard. It's a very competitive type of game, and unfortunately, what they're doing is they're making like Hearthstone go that way, and it's like they're appealing to this very niche sort of like players that are all in or not, and you're losing a lot of the people that just want to play like casually, and it's kind of shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree 100%. Yeah.
So I don't know what their thought process is on being able to combat that, but I don't know. I guess we'll find.
Yeah, they definitely have to do something.
Well, I guess from that, going from that topic that you are more familiar with, let's go right to another topic that you are 100% more familiar with, arm wrestling. So,
okay, so basically, I set up a group. I don't know what you want to call it. It's a annual event that I will be doing, and there will be events throughout the year. But it's called AAB, or the Annual Elbow Bender. It's just a group of friends. Just a group of friends that get together and we arm wrestle. We all throw in like $10, and then the winner or whatever takes home the pot. We got T-shirts made. It's pretty good, dude. Did you see the video? Yeah.
I watched the video. It was enjoyable. It was really fun.
I took second place. Our mutual friend Chris, he took first place. He's really strong. He was surprisingly strong.
Didn't we also give him a little bit of tips too for arm wrestling? Yeah. So he must have took those to heart.
I did. He told me he like stayed up all night watching videos and like. I showed him I showed him some stuff or whatnot, but I did this all in preparation because I don't know if we talked about it on the stream or not
on the podcast.
On the podcast,
no, we
stream, sorry. But I want to do tournaments next year through actual tournaments through the WAL.
Right.
So I feel like this is a good way to either get a group started or to get practice if nothing else.
Right.
So the way
it's fun.
Yeah, the way I have it set up right now is we're gonna do one event every September, and that will be the title event to determine that year's champion. So this year's champion, the 2018 champion, is obviously Chris.
Right.
And then we're gonna do PTEs throughout the year, either sporadically or periodically. But those are pre-title events, and there'll still be winnings, and I'll post stuff. Videos and whatnot of them. But yeah, dude, it was actually a really good experience. Not too many people showed up. A lot of people canceled last minute, but I think with the videos and the current experience, I think we'll get more people to come out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it looked like a lot of people really enjoyed it. That were part of it. The ones that were there, definitely would probably go again just to prove that they could maybe do better or whatever.
Yeah, and like we expected a bigger turnout than we ended up with. So like it was pretty cool that everybody got to leave with like a T-shirt at least.
Yeah, that is cool. That everyone got to at least leave with a T-shirt and be like, "Hey, here we go." What the T-shirts look like? I don't think I saw a picture of it. Did you post them online?
I did not, but I actually think I have one right here. I can send it to you over Facebook real quick.
Yeah.
Right now,
yeah. Send a picture to me and check it out. But that's super awesome.
Yeah, the T-shirt I got right now is actually like way too big because it's not for me. It's a double XL, but I'll send you the logo. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
my buddy's wife actually made them for us.
Oh, who?
Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah. His wife can make T-shirts, I guess.
Well,
There you go. I sent it to you.
All right. Oh, that's actually super awesome, dude.
Right. I thought
That's
it
good.
came out pretty good.
If I remember, I will put this up in
Cool.
a picture for people to see for the YouTube video. No, dude, that's super awesome.
I am not the most savvy with Facebook, so I was actually wondering if you would want to help me set up a page for it.
Yeah, dude. We can set up a page. We can do that stuff. We'll get something set up for it. That'd be super cool. We could promote it, do whatever. See what we gotta do to get people into it. I think it's cool. I think it'd be something to do. I wouldn't do it, I don't think, because I can't. I'm not strong. But I also have been, to let you know, I've been working out again. As everybody,
have you?
As everybody, I'm sure is interested in hearing. But I have been not super frequently yet, because I'm still getting into it. I did biceps and back the first day because I got some weights here. They're in kg because I'm in Ireland. But
you're definitely making sure that you're doing very quick jerking motions and only lifting with your back, right?
Yes,
because everyone knows that's how you build muscle.
So actually, what I do is I tie the weights to my hands, okay, and I let them hang, and I just swing them around, and it gets a good workout in my arms. And then I actually wrap the rope around my neck and swing it around to work out my back. It works really nice. But no, I did backs and bicep, and then then 2 days later I did chest and triceps. I had to do it like that because the first day I did the back and biceps so intensely that my muscles were in actual pain. I mean the pain of when I first started working out and went too hard. I went really hard that one back because I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, and it just killed. It was bad.
I actually experienced the worst pain I have ever experienced when overall muscle soreness. Probably give or take a week ago. So in preparation for this event, I spent a complete night practicing with my buddy Jerry, who you guys don't know, but he's 265 pounds and he's really fucking strong, really strong. So we arm wrestled probably a good 20 to 30 times in one night, and it completely destroyed my arms. To the point where I couldn't use them. I felt like I could not use my arms, and it woke me up from a dead sleep. Yes. And I had to put frozen peas on my elbows.
It's probably not good for you.
No. Kayla had to Kayla's my girlfriend. I'm sure you guys know, but yeah, she had to massage my arms for a good hour before I could fall asleep.
Yeah, I had to get some straight up bicep and inner elbow massage. It hurt so bad it getting pushed on, but it felt so good.
So good.
Yeah. So that was fun. But yeah, dude, no, that's super awesome. I did do some arm wrestling before I went to Florida. I, for some reason, am stronger with my left arm. I think I did better with my left arm. Didn't I beat Scott with my left arm when I did it?
Yeah. I do think that you have a really good technique. You do know how to do form, the proper form really well, comparatively.
Yeah, I just
to the people that I've watched. Yeah,
I just gotta get used to what I'm doing, I think, and then just be a little bit stronger, and I think that I'd be all set up. But yeah, no, it's definitely fun. If you guys haven't arm wrestled before, or it's been a long time since you've done it, and you think it just oh, I'm just messing around. It's actually really fun if you watch some of the stuff and you get a little interested in it. It's super interesting. Yeah, interesting. If we get this Facebook page set up for Juan, maybe we'll post something related to it for the podcast. But no, super cool, man.
Yeah.
I guess trailing off that and the stuff that you've been doing and working on, might as well go into the topic of something that me and my wife have been working on, and it's actually it's a blog. We plan on starting up a blog. It's a blog about a lot of stuff, pretty much anything, I guess you could say, that interests us, but stuff that we think would also interest other people. We already have some posts written up. I'm literally have been working about 5 hours every day on like either like stuff that I want to post, stuff on the website itself, like thinking about things that we can do. I've been working on it nonstop, and it's still so simple right now, but I think starting tomorrow it'll be good enough where I can post stuff, and maybe I'll even like post something about it. But basically when we start it off and we launch it, we're going to have about 4 or so posts that are going to be available for people, so that way there's something on there. But yeah, no, it's going to be super cool. It's going to be stuff like craft ideas, baking, cooking, social commentary. That's a lot of stuff that Becca's into. And then in my aspects, it'll be like video game technology, news and opinions, reviews on that sort of stuff, my podcast, YouTube videos, all of that stuff. We're very...
Sorry.
No.
Have you guys thought about posting like vlogs?
Yeah, and that's actually something that we want to get into, is start doing that more. And I think that's something that we're gonna like start up where we start trying to vlog and stuff more. And that's something that's gonna be really cool. We have so much stuff planned up that we want to do, and we're gonna do it. Like, we made promises to ourselves to do it. Actually, I'll send you if you want, I'll send you one, kind of a basic of how the like what the stuff's going on. I made a logo for it. Actually, I could send it to you right now on Facebook if you want.
Yes.
But I made this for the top of the page for the logo. It's pretty cool. Sorry for the typing, guys. I wonder if it's gonna actually let me do it. Here, I'll just send the actual artwork file for you. But no, it's something that I don't even know. I'm really excited for it, and I'm willing to put my all into this because it's something that I like. Putting my all is something that I need to do that I haven't done for a while, like with this podcast and with this blog and with a lot of things. And it's something that I'm just really, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it. You have to click on it to make it bigger, I think.
Yeah.
Come up.
Oh yeah, dude, that looks really awesome. It looks really good.
For some reason Facebook is putting it on a black background, but yeah, for that, so you can't see the pencil good enough. But I made that like completely from scratch, so it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, so I'm getting that stuff set up for the blog, and I'll let you guys. Like I said, maybe I'll if this blog is posted at the time, the website itself, we'll get it set up there, and we'll put this on there, and you guys can check it out as well. It's going to be a bunch of crazy different stuff. It's going to be fun. I plan on streaming more. I actually plan on streaming with Becca. There's some stuff that she's interested in streaming. We're thinking about getting her on some horror games. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
She doesn't think that horror games are that scary for some reason. Well, she claims she doesn't.
What was it? The PT?
What?
The Silent Hill game that was going to come.
Yeah, it got canceled. Yeah, PT, Silent Hill PT.
No, it got canceled, and then they were gonna do it again.
No,
yeah, I'm almost 100% sure.
No, they weren't. They did Resident Evil 7 that came out that was like it.
Hold on, I will find this. But yeah, either way, that sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's super excited. We're gonna look for people that want to post the stuff that we're interested in as well with us, like maybe some like news and opinion pieces on like video games technology, just stuff that they find interesting, craft ideas, reviews on stuff. If they do a podcast that are friends of ours, or if we find them interesting, if they want us to post it, stuff like that, or if they just want something to write about and we think it's about it, we're super about like letting other people contribute. But yeah, I'm super excited, ready to get that out there, ready to get this podcast out there, ready to start doing more stuff. I'm ready to do things. And I'm telling you, ever since camp, it's been like, that's just what I want to do is the things.
You're driven.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, but about the PT. Yeah, it's there is a project right now. It's a fan, and it's in alpha state right now. But it says it is downloadable and playable.
Someone remaking Silent Hill's PT demo. They're just remaking the demo then.
I don't know. It says Modder Smoggy Chips is leading the project. Yeah, I don't know. I was excited for that game. It looked really scary. I would definitely play.
It was the most horrifying game ever. I would be horrified to play it, but I guess I would play it and stream it if people wanted.
Really, it was that bad? I never got to play the PT. I just watched videos.
I watched videos, and I didn't need to play it. But yeah, no, that sounds terrible. But yeah, like that's what we plan on streaming more. We plan on actually like starting to stream of like her, like I said, doing that. She also likes The Sims, and there's like a crowd of people out there that really like watching people play The Sims, which is cool. She can probably do that. It'll probably be just her doing streams of that, and then I definitely want to stream Fallout 76. So like, you need to get it, Juan, and we need to have a great time. But no,
I'll get it.
It's gonna be great, dude. There's so much stuff on the horizon. I'm hoping me and you can do more as well, just in terms of stuff. Hopefully you'll get some free time and we can like start working on other stuff as well. Maybe YouTube videos. Definitely I don't think as much as we used to, but I think there's some stuff like multiplayer wise that we could definitely release, like maybe even if it's just our streams of us playing some games. But yeah, we have a lot that I think we're all ready to do, guys, and we're ready to just fucking put our nose to the grind and do it, because as we get older it's like we need to do it. So
yeah, we'll get back on this boat and we'll get it going,
and we'll paddle it to all the islands. But so I guess that's it for this podcast. That was fun. It was nice being able to get to do this again. Oh
yeah, I definitely missed it.
I missed you.
It's something that I like.
I missed you.
I missed you too.
I missed you, on. I love you.
Speaking of which, when do you plan on coming back to the States?
We're talking about next year.
Next
Maybe,
year,
like I'll come back for camp, and then if we decide to do it, but around that time, even if we don't, and then I'll just come back there. And we talked about actually living in Michigan for now, starting off. So we'll be there, and things will be interesting there. But that's what it's coming down to. I will be back, guys, and me and Juan, brothers, will be together again. But yeah, so I guess with that, we will end the podcast. Juan has very tiny nipples.
I love you guys.